Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Tonight I'm going to do a tutorial on how to get some pink/brown neutral base tones, and they're pretty simple tones to do. I've done a lot of tutorials on colouring and toning and that sort of thing, but I really do enjoy doing them, and I usually come up with different tones for each photo shoot that I do. So this was particularly something that I did for this photo shoot that I did recently, so I'm going to show you guys how to get those tones. So the first step will be to bring up a solid colour, and the solid colour will be 1D, 1B, 3, 4. And we'll press OK. So it's kind of like a dark purpley colour, and we're going to set that to lighten at 33%. So that's just filled in the shadows, and that's going to give the image a little bit more of a cooler effect within the shadows, and it's given it a little bit more of a blue coolish base. So we're going to bring up another solid colour now, and this one's going to be 3B2, 22C, and press OK. So this is kind of like a pink brown colour, which is really going to set the base for our colouring. And we're going to set it to soft light at 15%. So that's given it a little bit more of a pinkish tone overall. And now we're going to bring up curves. So we're going to map in a few points, and the first point is going to be 16 and 0. The next point is going to be 26 and 19. Then the next point will be 135 and 126. And the next point will be 232 and 229. And then the last point would just be 255. Then we're going to bring up a selective color, and the first adjustment will be within the reds, and it will be 0 for cyan, -4 for magenta, -15 for yellow, and 0 for black. Then we're going to go into the whites. So that's just kind of like with the reds. I'll just show you guys what that's done. So the magenta, we've kind of drained a little bit more of the pink out and a bit more of the yellow in the photo because there was too much yellow in the skin tone. It was really making it look quite saturated, so we just want to desaturate that a little bit. So yeah, now we're going to move on to the whites, and we're going to go +1 for cyan, -7 for magenta, and -7 for yellow, and leaving blacks at 0. So once again, in the whites of the image, we're sort of just draining the warmth, the reds and the yellows out, just to make it a little bit more desaturated within the skin tone. And now we're going to move on to neutrals. So we're going to change cyan to +1. We're going to change the magenta to -3, the yellow to -7, and the black to 0. So neutrals, once again, magenta and yellow we're kind of altering just to bring the skin tone to be a little bit more desaturated again. And we're going to go to the blacks, and the cyan will just be left at 0. Magenta will be -2, and yellow will be +5, and then black will be left at 0. So really in the blacks we've just kind of changed the colouring a little bit in the shadows and made it a little bit more warmer. We're going to go back to our layers now and bring up another solid colour, and this solid colour will be 5B, 5C, 7D. We'll press OK. So this is kind of like a cool lavender toned colour, and we're going to set this one to hard light at 5%. So if I just switch that on and off, that's given the image a little bit more of a cooler effect overall, and really brought the other tones just together a little bit more. And then for our last step, we're going to bring up levels, and we're going to change this one here to 5. We're going to leave that at 1, and we're going to change this, the highlights, to 245. So just giving the image a little bit more contrast there. And that's pretty much the finished product. So I'm just going to take a snapshot and show you guys a before and after. So this is the before, and that's the after. And I'll just zoom in a little bit. Before and after. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you'd like to see more tutorials like this one, please let me know. I'm actually going to hopefully release an action set soon, which is totally based on neutral colors, because I know a lot of people find them quite useful when they are editing, like a lot of different types of photo shoots. So I'm going to try and work on a set for neutral coloring, and yeah, hopefully it will turn out okay. But I'll definitely let you guys know when I do release that, and yeah. So thank you guys very much for watching again, and I will see you next time.